line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like it feels like forever in a day. We are back live on PT Racing TV as we are here with the round of 16's final race of their playoffs at tension. This one will take over to the round of 12. Only 12 may enter. Which one of them will it be? Find out now. Thus, here on PT Racing TV as Go Racing League presents the round of 16's final race of the playoffs. And presented in part by our friends at Global Strategy Team, Jack Racing Collectibles, and Cornhole Coffee. Hello everyone, I am the Crusader, Christian Chard, joining you guys once here again on the show here at PT Race TV, coming to you live here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and Las Vegas Motor Speedway as we're getting ready for the action showcase up to the show. It's time to take a look at our starting lineup as we present to you the number 19 of the Reign of Terror himself, Iredon, the number 1 seed, the outside, and the number 43 is Samuel Hodorel. And saying let's go, gentlemen, in the comments section below. Row number 2 in the 7 is Scott Simley, in the 7 the outside, and the 54 is Cameron Dario. Row number 3 is Joe Hudson, the 15 the outside, and the number 9 it's Bobby Wetzel. Row number 4 would be Richard Crane, the 3060 outside. The number 12, it is Aaron Action Jackson. Row 5, Charles Van Schiken, the 23 the outside. And the number 2, it is Ricky Edding. Row number 6 is Jeff Ramsdale, the 97 the outside. And the 11 is Ron Holyfield. Row number 7 pilots it down there with Mr. Dayton Taylor in the 45 the outside. In the big 8, it's Maurice Burnett. Row number 8 in the 44, Christoph Hall the outside. And the 18 is Philip Schmitz the outside. For the final starter today, from across down under, it's the 77, Michael Caffrey. How long has it been since we've seen that old boy here? Man, it's been a time, hasn't it? Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get to the action. Time to get settled on the show. 160 laps to the distance for you today here. Our stage breaks coming at lap 35 and lap 73 with an 87 lap marker to race it out. What does that mean? Simply put, do not catch yourself with your pants down in Vegas. For obvious reasons. But also, it's because this track will take no mercy and and a lot of pleasure in getting you knocked up a few times if you're not too careful. So watch your line and watch your drive and hope you can survive. From last time out, Darlington there, we had Tyler Dalton taking home victory there. He's now already set for the round of 12, and right at this point, he is currently on a 4-race win streak. Would have been on a much longer win streak had it not been for Joseph Friday at Watkins Glen kind of throwing him a bit of a loop. But now, he's going to try to add on to the tally, get 5 in a row, but also he's looking to increase his points lead. However, for him, he's got a guy in the name of Sammy Harrell looking to throw a monkey wrench into that plan exactly right now. That could throw each driver for a bit of a loop here. Could throw them for a bit of a gap off. We're going to have to see as they get ready to roll them down off the track and down to the set here. Rolling them off down from corner number 4 down to the straightaway. Let's begin stage number 1 and the round of 16. Going into this event, Tyler Dalton right now currently is the highest speedster and the highest driver on the playoff chart. He's been picking up a few notches and taking these guys to their absolute limits. But he is also the driver, many of which will look to try to knock off the totem pole and try to knock off the playoff stat. Entering in, though, Scott Simley currently in 2nd place with Charles Van Schiken still on the hunt for 3rd. Bobby Wetzel in the 4th spot. Sammy Harrell in the 5th area. Cameron Dario in the 6th. Philip Schmitz 7th on the board. Aaron Axe Jackson comfortably in 8th. Joe Hudson in the 9th spot. 10th be Christoph Hall. Maurice Burnett 11th. And Alan Wild 12th. So what does that mean? Well, Ron Holyfield, Dayton Taylor, Cody Sturgeon, and Ryan Cook, you've got some work to do, my friends. And work they will have at it here as they lean their way right off the track and down in from the set of corners here. Everybody right now looking to kind of keep their speed up, trying to keep their distance and gap growing. You're going to see a lot of drivers are going to be very careful and wise on how they make their moves and how they make their jumps, especially considering this is going to be more of a long-term racetrack. Fuel limit's going to be really settling themselves up and really pushing them a little bit harder than usual. I suspect, though, for guys like Tyler Dalton, obviously, their main goal is just stay ahead of the transition, stay ahead of that ever elusive and tough as can be aerodynamic dependency of a track like this. Yeah, one thing I do like, though, right about now, though, is the fact that you got guys like Alan Wild and Ron Holyfield going at it for that elusive 12th spot and being on the bubble in that area and being in that run. That forces them to really make some clever decisions, either some harder racing or some bigger moves. But Wild, from what I am seeing, he's not here today, so that means he's already in trouble losing that spot for Ron Holyfield now. That means all he's got to do is just continue to bridge the gaps and bridge the speeds and keep working at it. Aaron Action Jackson, I've said it before, I keep saying it over and over, and I think he's probably gotten really annoyed with me on this, but he's a driver that this season, to me, kind of fell off the podium a little bit, and kind of fell into a little bit less of a more of a troubleshooting role and just trying to figure out how to get better as the time goes on. But it seems like in the playoffs-wise, he is starting to kind of put things together and he's starting to come alive a little bit more. So maybe he was saving up a little bit, kind of like I call the Jimmy Johnson maneuver, which is kind of get yourself into the part you need to get to, and then from there just kind of kick off the runs by just simply overdriving and overpowering everyone. Make a first part of the season a testing session, and then from there, well, let's just have some fun from there, shall we? Three wide off the gap. Oh, Wetzel. Oh, right into the wall, coming right off turn number 2 there. Looks like he got clipped up by Ricky Udding. And Wetzel not going to be too happy about that. All of that race and run just completely thrown out the window. He may be comfortable in the points position right now for the stages, but that's not going to help you any when you're good and put into stuff like this. Let's take a look at the replay. He got 3 wided off there. Ricky Udding, though, you can see, just came up a little bit. He clips into the 9. And Wetzel tries to back out, but he couldn't get out of it in time. Udding just taking it right up to him and jams the entire right side in. And now Wetzel, right about now, probably wishing that right rear, that right front were a little bit less damaged up and more cleaned out of there. That's a nasty little hit. That's going to cost him big time there. He's comfortable to move on to the next round. But I would not say he's very comfortable right now with dealing with anybody else out there. Udding certainly has some eyes on him. I will say that much here. And Udding, by the way, he's not even in this playoff picture, so really I'm not totally sure why he really was going to go that aggressive, that hard, and that kind of run. Again, I know these cars are easy to slip up with, but it looked like to me he just kind of went a little too hard, couldn't control it. And then from there, it's almost like he just kind of kicked up a whole nother switch and everything got completely thrown out the window. Dayton Taylor on the outside now looking to try to stay away from Udding there if he possibly can. Knows what Wetzel happened to him. And Wetzel now actually is going to get the car back on the track, so that Dodge Charger going to figure out what he can do here. Samuel Rell this season, I cannot put a number on the many times I have said this guy should have been in victory lane at some point already. Could today, and I know I keep jinxing it, I'm just going to say it now, could today finally be that day? This guy has had every win, everything stripped from him, and just trying to just hang on to whatever he can do and just can't seem to catch a break. I know obviously this is a long, long road for him. He knows he's going to have to really keep up the pace and try to figure out how to kind of work around with Tyler Dalton up there. But other than that, I don't think there's really any reason why he can't possibly make a little run for it today. Wetzel back on pit road, by the way. I think he might have too much damage on the front, on the right side of that car to continue on. He's already lost a lot of laps, so at this point now it's just survival mode for him. Philip Schmitz in a Bobby Labonte style S car right now, currently working his way up through the back as he stays ahead of Michael Caffrey. He's got the 8 of Maurice Burnett to deal with. The Caterpillar number 8 machine right now trying to do and hone on the craft. Looking to roll in the gas, looking to roll off the track here a little bit more as he goes. Seeing where the rhythm is and where the lines are at and trying not to get too crossed up in between there. Christoph Hall, the number 44, and looks like a little bit too on the nose, too on the verge. Ends up kind of slipping his way around a little there. Remember, all they got to do is just get to lap 35. Right now, anyway. Get to lap 35, go from there. They're getting up to the front right now. Dalton currently still having a little bit of ground to keep off from Harrell there. But again, he's using the dirty airflow around the back of that Ford Mustang to use on that Chevrolet. Again, with these Fords here, with tracks like this that are aerodynamic dependent, they do have a little bit of an advantage because they can keep their throttle up and actually kind of cut through the air a little bit better than what the Toyotas and the Chevys can do. In general terms, we've even seen on the super speedways too, where actually right now, even in Atlanta, Eric Amarola just got the fastest qualifying time and sets on the pole in that race. So that kind of completes my purpose of my point here, which is if you got the Fords out there on the tracks like this, you can see what it can do. Charles Van Schaik, the defending Cup Series champion right now. He's had an off and on kind of season. He's been up in there, and he's been having some wins. Then he's been down in the dumps all of a sudden, and things just couldn't get any better. He did not make it into the Truck Series playoffs. Have been anything but successful. And right now, this Cup Series is seemingly the thing he's trying to do here. Brian Rayville says, hey, even PTM. Brian, it's great to hear from you again, sir. I think it's been a while since we heard from you down there. How you been, buddy? Speaking of how you doing, how you been, sounds like Ron Holyfield and Richard Crane having a little how you doing, how you been kind of chatting up there. Look like they're trying to drive on the freeway and just have a little chit chat while they're going at about 180 miles per hour. Yeah, that's real smart to do. Oh, Ron, a little bit too tight there. Got a little bit loose from the back half. Lost a lot of control as Crane keeps the Lucas Oil number 36 right in Cup Town. Rayville says, no complaints, bud. Brian, great to hear that, sir. Nothing too bad on my end. Yeah, just kind of living life and taking it day by day, good sir. I got a big vacation coming up here in about 2 weeks and some odd days, so I'm just excited for that and ready to finally get back to where I'm going. For those that are wondering, yes, it's in the same location I was at last time, and I'm sorry to say in advance, you're going to have to get used to simracingapps.com when I get over there. Brian, I got to ask you too, have you caught up on any of the races we've seen here? Seen any of the brackets we've kind of put up against here? It's been quite a bit of battles and stuff we've shown on this broadcast here. Guys like Cameron Dario on that number 54, he's put up some numbers and got some wins as of late too, and he's trying to keep up with that distance. As he's got Dayton Taylor in the 45 right now, lingering his way up there. Battle of the Toyotas. One Toyota, two Toyotas, and then a Ford Mustang in between. And then up top, of course, top five dominated by the Mustangs, except for Samuel Harrell. He's trying right now to kind of keep up the pace and trying to dictate around with Tyler Dalton up there. I like the strategy Sammy's got going on right now. He's just playing low, not trying to make too much noise, not trying to do anything too crazy. You can see how straight the steering wheel is. You go out, controlled, he's running it. I like what he's doing here. He's being very cautious, very optimistic, but at the same token, he's got a long way to go before he's really going to be in a very good spot here, especially with the way Dalton is. Top side now, Dario going way wide out of the gate here. Dayton Taylor and now Charles Van Schaik looking to capitalize on that. That's a new look there for the Fast Lane 23. He's got the goat marker, but that's a whole different look in and of itself. I don't know, I kind of like it though. I like that purple with that white there. Kind of banks in really nicely. Credit where credit's due to the designer on that one. Granted, I get all my stuff by lighting wraps, so. But I'll give him credit whoever that designer was. That was a good one. 3-car battle right now for the top 6 spot here. Van Schaik slight advantage there as he now starts to move the chains in. He told me a while back too. This guy, I swear, he has not been able to qualify or get anything done right on that end. But yet, when he gets out on the track, it's almost like you can't even remember what he's doing, because the only thing he is worried about is just racing his race and just getting up there with the best of speeds. And speaking of getting up the best of speeds right now, I think this is probably about as racing's odd couple here, if you can get it. Bobby Wetzel right now so many laps down, and the reason because the guy behind him ended up clipping him and taking him to the wall off turn 2. Now I don't know if he's honestly just trying to mess with Ricky or if he's just trying to make sure he tells him, you're not playing that game with me all the time here, son. I'm having a hard time figuring it out. Udding, though, is struggling to get around him here. And I think he's getting kind of annoyed with him. Oh, yes, he is. He's getting the nose right on the 9 now. He's trying to make the pass. Oh, my. That got aggressive real quick. That's the same way these two went into that turn. And Wetzel drives it hard off again. I really don't know if Wetzel is actually just toying with him or if Udding's actually struggling to get around him. Either way, I gotta believe that's probably annoying him quite a bit. Rainville just says, I just tuned in going green at the at Tally with OP Racing Butt Kicker, but you're one of the best at your job. I often watch. Brian, thank you so much for that comment, sir. I'm not one of the best or the best. I think I'm probably like average for the road, but being on my own, yeah, I'll give myself a little bit above average on that. Thankfully, I got the producers helping me out with these camera systems as well, so I'm making sure they know what they're up to and where they're going with it, so that helps me out a lot too. Lingering back around right now, Charles Van Slyke still trying to keep his distance up a bit as he now patrols to the action of Jackson. Aaron Action Jackson, as I've nicknamed him and dubbed him here, currently holding on to the top 5 spot. And again, he is already pretty well secured for the next round here in the round of 12, I should say. This is the round of 16 we are finishing up with, as we got about 6 laps coming to the line here left to go. Okay, top 5, Rainville says. Yeah, I'll take top 5. Maybe, well, can we do top 10, Rainville? I don't know. I don't want to sound too cocky or arrogant in these calls, man. That's not who I am. Speaking of being cocky, a little arrogant here, looks like Hudson may have got a little too cocky there, trying to build too much speed early, and now he's starting to regret it. These next-gen Cup cars are extremely weird on that steering and that rear and those tire burns. And it seems as though now it's starting to force him a little bit back more than he's expecting. Having to let off and give up time there to Dayton Taylor, Charles Van Slyke, and Aaron Jackson. Both drivers going for it. Rainville, you have a good night, buddy. He says he's got to leave us for now. Thanks so much for tuning in, as always, brother. I love hearing from these guys, man. I love seeing the fans come back out here and seeing everyone come on the show here. I swear, it's why I do part of this job, honestly, is because you fans are literally the greatest fans in the world, and honestly, racing drivers, racing folks in general, man, that's the biggest family you can even imagine. Yeah, I know most of us will say we do not care for each other, or we just like each other a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're all family in some regard, and we all will get on each other's nerves like any family will, so I think that's why I love it so much. Van Slyke on the bottom lane now, trying to shoot it off from Jackson. Jackson holds it up on the outside, gonna blank it up a little bit, as now the GOAT 23 moves his way in between, and he's got company back behind him, helping him out a little bit. Dayton Taylor slowly but surely pushing the Route 45 a little bit up, a Route 66, and jumping his way right into the mix. Every driver for themselves right now as they continue to patrol and pursue their gaps off into the bridge. Samuel Rell, good amount of speed ahead right now. Scott Simley trying to stick with it as well. Here, the Heineken, number 7. I don't know why I like saying it, but Heineken. I love it. I know it's German, so don't make fun of me, guys. But that 7 right now, Simley just trying to stay right in that top 5 bracket. Top 3 would certainly help him out a bit. Dalton, Samuel Rell currently just keeping their gaps up pretty close to as they can be. We'll see if Rell wants to make a move here on the last couple laps, so he's got one more lap to go. As Cameron Dario and Aaron Jackson go head-to-head there, a good battle off. Looks like Samuel trying to build a little bit of speed there on Dalton, but I don't think it's going to be enough time. Patrolling off turn number 2. Big gap brewing here. We'll see what happens. Samuel didn't get anything on that last one, and that last bit may be too much for him. We'll roll him right back down off of turn number 4, and this one's all Tyler Dalton. The Reign of Terror is taking home more stage points. Stage 1 belongs to the Reign of Terror. So a great little battle off into the distance and a good little fight down there in the night skies here for Tyler Dalton, as he once again showcases why he is not to be messed with. He strategized well, he planned it well, but there's one little caveat to it. Now he's going to have to go a little bit more in the distance. Lap 73, the next target for him and that team. Yeah, I think you guys can feel it too. A little bit of a chill in the air here. Either that or it's just a little chilly down in Vegas. It's supposed to be hotter than Hades up here, but instead I got a nice little breeze coming from these cars down here. Just hanging around a little bit too, but definitely doesn't help out. It doesn't hurt at all there. But nevertheless, these drivers currently just trying to sail their way around, trying to get themselves squared up onto the track and see what they can bring to the table. A lot of guys right now focused highly on making their moves and making their runs, quite well known. Well, we're going to figure out who comes out of pit road first in this category here. Tyler Dalton out the top side. Scott Skimley going to get out there next. Charles Van Schaik, Sammy Harrell going to hold it up. Sammy Harrell looks like he took all 4 tires and fuel. Dalton, Skimley, and them did not. Well, pit side wise right now, your top 10 out of pit road: Aaron Action Jackson, Joe Hudson, Dayton Taylor, Christoph Hall, Jeff Ramsdell, Cameron Darius, Sammy Orrell, Charles Van Schaik, Scott Simley, and Tyler Dalton. And as usual, Van Schaik decides to go back to pit road despite having a pretty good pit stop there. I never fully understand his strategy until we get about to the last half there. So the field now going to double up. Round stage number 2 about to commence here. Much needed points there for Tyler Dalton. And again, this dude, if anyone's going to take him down, I would like to see it, because this has right now just been an absolute beat down when he puts it up to work here. Gonna roll him right off down on the track here now. Brian Spence says, go Sammy. It is go Sammy go down there. It's Brian, good to hear from you as well today, sir. Coming off down the course, down from turn number 4 here to the green flag restart zone. Tyler Dillon leads him down as we've got lap 73 in the rear. Lap 73 is in view, and that is what these drivers need to hit to complete the stage 2. So far, only one of them getting clipped up into a bad spot early on. Now we'll see how long it takes for these guys to get themselves in even more crazy positions. Almost 3 wide right off the Little Hooters, 97. Ramsdale currently got his eyes wide open, trying to stay out of trouble. As Dayton Taylor kind of throws him for a bit of a loop there. Samuel Horrell, for the first time, is going to take the race lead away. We have a new leader, Dalton, right in behind him, and now trying to get up there to him. Sammy today needs to seriously, and I mean seriously, make a statement today. If he's going to get this done, he's going to have to do it quickly as they're going 3 wide back in the back there, rattling them up a little bit, boys. Cameron Dario, Jeff Ramsdale, and Dayton Taylor all having a little fun. Here comes Maurice Burnett, though, in the house. Oh, Burnett had no trouble pulling that one out of the rabbit hat, if you will. He threw down a few cars, then he threw down a few chips, and now Dario, he's falling further and further back into the mess. Probably trying to get out of there as soon as he can here. Knows that there's not a whole lot of run to get away from there if he doesn't get out of it sooner than later. That's the gap right now from the leaders to the back mid-pack, and that mid-pack is always putting on a show. The mid-pack puts on a show because they're simply just trying to fight each other to get around one another as quick as they possibly can. And a gap off in the turn zone. Scott Simley, the number 7, wide out on the outside. Aaron X. Jackson, number 12, trying to stabilize it up a bit. Joe Hudson in the mid-pack of the top 5 here, holding up the rest of the field. Just trying to keep his distance. You can see again, they're having to lay off the throttle just a little bit, but they're not having to get too much into it until they get really about right there as they enter in the turn. That's when they gotta kind of start giving the car a little bit more breathing room. Yeah, I think that might be slowing down like Tyler Dalton a little bit. Now Tyler falling further back. He's trying to save the fuel. He doesn't have tire saving strategy on his mind. He has tire saving on his, he has fuel strategy on his mind. And remember Samuel, when he put all 4 tires on that car, you knew he was up to something. He's already up to it. I think Tyler may have honestly thought to just save the tires for later and then go from there. But again, one thing I absolutely despise as a driver, and I hate having to get put into, is going to the very back of the pack when I started into the front. The reason being is because, again, you just don't know how crazy that mid-pack or that back half is going to be. We've seen it where good drivers are even just maybe a little bit more on the very talented side, just can't get away from the mid-packs and from the mid-runs. And next thing you know, you're trapped in a mix-up that you shouldn't even been in, all because you just simply try to play a strategy that everyone else wasn't thinking of. That's why I always say, try to find the best route and the best way to survive in these races and these stages as well. They certainly hurt a little bit in terms of trying to keep up with that gap, trying to keep up with that distance. Jackson and Hudson right now going at it hardcore and clean as a whistle with Burnett right up ahead of him. Ricciardi not far back there as well. The Pepsi Cola number 2 trying to kind of put up a number here. He hasn't been on the show in quite a while, and yet now all of a sudden he comes back almost with a fiery vengeance. I tell you, I like what I see and I like what I hear from it. He's making some good use of it and some good time out on the track here. Stringing it right down through 1 and 2 though, and he had another big distance up from the gaps here. Christoph Hall in the 44 and the 54, Cameron Dario. Michael Caffrey in the 77 had a little fun. The driver from Down Under is back with us here, and he is making it look pretty easy to make a charge up the front if you know where you're going with it. We've seen Caffrey many times in many different forms, from the trucks to the Cup Series, Gen 6s, to the Xfinity Series. And I'm pretty sure we've had a little bit of fun with him in the ARCA Series, and even a little bit on the dirt side of things. You never know with Caffrey. He can be a very big wild card. Sometimes he can just lay it in at the boys and put the stomping on them and send them a few feet down under. But then sometimes it is him that is finding himself really in a bit of a bad spot. Maybe trying to find a way to kind of channel his inner SVG down there. And speaking of channeling themselves a little bit, here comes a channeling power off on the 45 of Dayton Taylor. He has now circumvented and controlled the gap up to get there to Samuel Horrell. Now Samuel may be trying to save a little bit, maybe trying to stay out of trouble, but this is definitely not a good spot in my opinion to be trying to play it at. I think if anything, he needs to be a little bit more situationally aware and find it there. Trolling around right now here. Samuel Horrell gonna have company on his doorstep. Dayton Taylor deep to the inside, looking for the pass. Horrell though, this is genius strategy. Remember what Wetzel did originally before he got into that mix-up? He used the outside as a bit of a faster runway. The bottom lane does have speed, but if you don't know how to control it or conserve it, it ends up throwing you for a bit more of a loop. Running the outside is a little bit faster and a little bit more circumventive of letting anyone else get too ahead of you. This is actually an ingenious move here by Horrell to keep that speed up, and you can see why, because it blocks the bottom from making the run on the exit. Remember, you get a good entry because you're shortening the track out, but here's the downside. You can't get the RPMs up if you can't get up to the outside. Run it from that bottom, you either got two options. One, rough them up a little bit and force them to kind of get a little bit up higher, or you're going to have to be a little more clever and get a good run into the turn and then a huge run off the exit. But again, you wear your speed out and you wear your tires out by doing that. Sammy is aware of that too right now. That's why he's currently just trying to keep Dayton at bay. And it looks like that timer worked. Drew him back a few pegs there. Actually got him back to about 2700th of a second there versus what it was about 900th of a second ago. Aaron Axe, Jax, Joe Hudson, all them also in the mix-up. Conservative plays here by these drivers, and everyone right now being a little bit more controlling of their gaps and of their speeds here. Well, right now, Carell keeping his lead up there from Dayton Taylor, but he's now getting a little bit more weary of the other guys in the back of the pack trying to catch up there with him. Even guys like Charles Van Schaik and Tyler Dalton are kind of mixing their way up a little. Scott Simley definitely going to be trying to move his way up the chains a little bit and use up any kind of gaps, any kind of speeds he can get here. I need to make a clarification too on the Tuesday night show that I had as well, like a couple weeks ago. I said that Glenn was the teammate there for one of our drivers, but it's actually he's actually a teammate for Tyler Dalton. It's just he sponsors Mike Kelly is the only thing. So I had to clarify that a little bit. I apologize in advance for that broadcast mishap. But again, guys, I don't know everything about these guys. Some of this stuff I have to look on the fly or have to find notes on because, honestly, you have any idea how many leagues and broadcasts I do on a day-to-day basis, sometimes even weeks. I know I've done this for over 3 years now, but hey, I never said once that I am the best at keeping track of everything. I'm a one-man wrecking crew here, guys. But I do have at least a little hand coming with me here tomorrow night. You'll see him back on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I'll have Michael Bollinger back with us here. He will be joining us here on the Sunday night edition for Battle of Auto Racing League. So stay tuned for that. He'll be with us here soon enough on the show. But till then, of course, we got one more race here in the round of 16 to complete. And these Goat Racing League boys right now currently just trying to see who can gap up the best, who can bridge off the most, and see where they can kind of take it from there. Hudson right now, kind of giving his skip up there. Dayton Taylor still holding on second. Jackson in the fourth. Udding laying low in the 5. And you can see where our manufacturers lie right now. Everyone kind of in that mix here. Well, right now, currently about six laps left to go when he comes to the line here. He's got his work cut out for him because Dayton is still on his tail. And he's trying to get to him there as soon as he possibly can. But we saw this happen with Dalton as well with Harrell earlier. Dalton got the better of him there. Will Harrell get the better here? It seems like it is getting harder and harder to pass. Again, I know there's 670 horsepower actions on these cars, but that rear spoiler, it doesn't give him much room there to work with. Look at that, Harrell. You can see the rear end actually slipped up a little bit there. Got a little bit loose off that apex. You would think they give Taylor a little bit more room, but he didn't get much speed off it. And these guys absolutely laying into it, just doing whatever they can here to do what possibly they can here. Sorry for the little audio glitch there as well, guys. I realized I just had a little audio spurt there, and that was my bad. Here we go. 3 laps left to go. Lap traffic in the way. Richard Crane dealing with a little bit of a ferocious fight going on for the lead. Dayton Taylor immediately trying to capitalize. And Samuel, man, oh man, sir, you are fighting for this one. Oh boy, but here comes Dayton. He drilled him up a little bit, fired him up, and he got him on the bottom. Harrell trying to close it back up, but it's too late. Dayton Taylor takes the lead away. Oh, but does he? He's got to run there on the outside again. Harrell trying to force it. That was close. It's going to come down to that final lap there. You got 2 to go. And Harrell, big shot from the dark, big shot on the outside. How does he do it? Look at that. The Massage MV43 did not give an inch. Sap 45 went in that rough situation. No room to lose it from and a lot of area to give it out to. Ladies and gentlemen, white flag coming out for stage number 2. 1 more lap to complete. Dayton knows he had a golden opportunity to secure the stage points by simply getting Richard Crane to be a bit of a handful there for the lap traffic side of things. But it got derailed. Now can he hang on? Roll him down through turn number 3 to turn number 4. Harrell gonna try to hang on one more time. It's gonna be a shoot down the line, but Samuel Harrell holds it on. He gets stage number 2 points. Wow, that is impressive, my friends. And now what that does is now that just gives him a bit of a bonus point and a bonus set to use on these boys now. The Massage NV43 puts up the run and puts on the show. That's a big move he had to make there. I'm very impressed there with Samuel, but now you notice there's guys that like Tyler Dalton and them that did not take tires and only took fuel on that last go that are going to be eyeing that tire set and that fuel strategy. Remember, they get 3 extra sets of tires. They just used up 1. They'll have to use up a second one. If they could go the distance, they could use up that final one. But again, you have to roll in and factor in traffic and have to factor in cautions. That could mess things up a little bit. Well, let's take a look at it here. This is going to be a very tall order for these drivers choosing their poison. Out of pit road, Hudson, first one out. Dayton Taylor trying to beat out the 43. That's close. I think Harrell, yes, he did get him. Just barely. Hudson did not take tires, waiting for the fuel run. Harrell gets out of there second. Dayton Taylor third. Fourth for Jackson. Fifth, Ricky Udding. Maurice Burnett 6, Scott Sinley 7, Tyler Dalton's 8, 9 Charles Van Slyke, Michael Caffery top 10. Field right now currently in a bit of a gap and a bit of a strong arm here. Looks like Sam Murrell back in pit road. I don't know if maybe he had gotten himself into a little bit of a dilemma there, but it looks like he had to go back into pit road. His pit time was about 5 seconds there. So it looks like he decided to take more fuel. I think he's going to try to strategize fuel for this final bit instead of tires. How well that will work, I'm not totally sure. Very tough little move here, though. Hudson back in the pit road now, so all of a sudden everybody's starting to get a little bit worried about what they got here. Rolling right off on turn number 4 here. Rolling down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin the final stage, the final race of the round of 16. Got Menses. Let's get down to it. Wow, everybody getting slowed back there a little bit. Van Scheidt didn't look like he even got off the line there. He got trapped in between and thrown around a little bit into the road. Rolling back in particular race side, and now everyone trying to get going here. Dayton Taylor trying to get the early lead away from Tyler Dalton. Dalton right now probably not expecting where the heck he was at there in that position. Probably wasn't even aware of what was going on until it was too little too late. Did I say earlier, by the way, that Michael Caffrey is going to try to pull a little SVG on us here? I think he just did. He is now the hard charger for out of obvious reasons. 13 spots up. He started from the outhouse. He's coming to the White House. Patrolling it right back onto the gaps here and into the zone. We are now halfway done with this race, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of guys hanging in the back right now here, trying to stabilize up a little bit. Bobby Wetzel, after the frustrations he must be feeling still a little bit, just wants to try to see if he can gain any kind of traction, any kind of laps back. A cautions will help clear that up for him, but it's going to be some very increasingly destructive moves he's going to have to use on him. Cameron Dario, Michael Caffrey right now are going to go out a little bit. Dario right now trying to get it around Caffrey as Caffrey's driving high on side. High to the outside, into the wall, gets it out, 3 wide, down for the gap. Jackson simply going head to head here. Jeff Ramsdale, the number 97 here, kind of pulled back a little from Christoph Hall, number 44, the 3G machine, snaking his way down around a little bit as he gets it up through Caffrey's gap there. Caffrey allowing him to get low on the hold and jumping it into the gold. Got it around Hudson and all them as well, kind of mixing it back a little bit. Ron Holyfield in the 11 also slinging down a little bit. And the farther you go back into this gap here too, the harder it becomes to get out of that nasty, dirty airflow. So I got a feeling you're really now kind of forcing the drivers to have to make a bit of a charge, make a bit of a run for it here. Rolling it back through, Van Schaik in the middle, swung up the blade, swung up the track, Simley making a bit of a move off from that. Big target up the set. Here comes Christoph Hall now. Hit a big, big run on the inside. Look at him shoot it off on Van Schaik. Van Schaik was not expecting him to come in where he did. Looking now to get that. Oh, he did get that bumper right on him there. He pushed him a little bit. When you kick that rear end a little too, that thing lifts up on the front, so that rear end becomes a lot harder to stabilize. That's not exactly the easiest thing to hold on to. Feels like all your steering goes completely out of the window in that case. This is your mid-pack gap right now, currently separating out the drivers from the top seated to the back seated. And guess who's up front? Yeah, you can probably figure that one out. Dayton Taylor, though, Maurice Burnett, kind of surprise hit. So Dayton, we saw him at stage 2 come alive. Stage 3, it seems like, in the final stage, I should say. Maurice Burnett having a little bit of a career renaissance right now. Looking to try to play a little spoiler on these boys. Really, in my mind, all he needs to do is just stay consistent and conservative here, and he'll have a nice little field day for the position he's gaining traction on. There's a lot of runs and a lot of roads to kind of work off from, and he knows it too. I think it's kind of why you really are seeing him more kind of on the high end side of things. Cameron Dario right now passing up a little bit. There's Ramsdell and, or excuse me, it's Van Schaik and Hall. Jumped their way in. Michael Caffrey and Jeff Ramsdell now making a move off on him. Caffrey bowling that speed back up, maybe trying to put everyone back down under, trying to get a little bit more run from it. Nowhere to go and nowhere to chuckle to if you don't know where you're playing the field right at. Scott Simley in the 7 here, still hanging in there. Christoph Hall behind him, Van Schaik, Ramsdell, and Dario still in the mix. Look at Hall now, back underneath on the number 7, Simley, trying to keep him a little bit more occupied, a little bit more settled in. Simley has nothing he needs to worry about right now. He just needs to keep being friendly with drivers and keep friendly on the track and not worry about the messes he'll find himself in, especially with what's going on right now. Van Schaik coming up in the back, looking to move off there a little bit. He's trying to force each driver to make a choice, either make a run for it or get out of his way. He's not having any of it here. And the longer this goes, the longer I feel like it favors the 23. But again, we haven't talked about the fuel mileage run. It hasn't been put into play just yet, but it will be soon. Almost 3 deep off. Simley, ooh, oh, he was pushing up a little bit on that 3G there. Paul might be needing to get a little bit of that going for him. You need to get a little substance kicking him out a little, because he's getting trapped more and more in a very tight spot. Ramsdell looking on, and look at this, Samuel Rell even. He made an extraordinary comeback from the pack here. Joe Hudson already in pit road. Morrell right now building power. He's building up a lot of drive here. I think the 43 has had enough waiting back there. He's coming for the leaders. Must first now navigate through the tough ordealings of these drivers up ahead right now at the moment, which is easier said than done. No, the camera cut was a little bit bad there. I apologize there. Trust me, the producers and I are trying to make sure we're catching every bit of the action we can, and it's a lot harder than it looks when you got guys just completely moving around the track. And then you got guys like Tyler Dalton here just pretty much leading these boys with nothing but an iron fist in front of them. But if this remains green right now, Dalton, I think maybe one lap shorter than what maybe Samuel Rell and even guys like Charles Van Schaik are kind of planning on here. So that could play into the key role and do a key strategy point here. Make her move right and check her charges even better. I think it might have the advantage in this case. Dayton Taylor in the 485 and that number 8 Maurice Burnett right behind him now, looking to roll off the gap here. There in action, Jackson goes straight slinging to the inside. Jackson is on the attacks and he is making it work. Maybe got a little too much flack for his own good. Now he's had enough of it. I think he's really starting to dial this up a bit. He's getting focused. I love it. I love that kind of strategy, that motivation that a driver gets when you start to really put things together. You start to figure out where your power lies and where the momentum is keen at, especially with how late we are in this race. Time is running out. Samuel Rell now moving up from Ramsdale and Hall, and he's now got Van Schaik and Scott Simley in his sights. But the Heineken, number 7, currently probably throwing the few boys a Heineken or two to keep them chill back there. Personally, if you ask me, I don't think I would want any other drink. I'd probably prefer something else other than that right about now. Actually, I take it back, guys. My first drink actually was a Heineken, so I can't make too many jokes down there. That was my first beer I ever had. It's actually not a bad drink, actually. Just a... Well, speaking of saying, too, it looks like Maurice Burnett, you've got a little saying on your hands. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and Simley, he's not going down like that. He has been hit, and he's been punched, he's been shoved, and right now he is moving up again. He truly is becoming stronger than ever. And Burnett falling further and further into despair. He's losing ground and time here. Van Schaik, Sammy Harrell, and all them moving up quickly. Burnett, ooh, little blockade there on Harrell. Burnett, though, thrown up to the outside. Ramsdale now trying to capitalize on it. Could that have slowed the 43 down just a tad bit? Hard to say, but it may have done him some good there to kind of help out, because now I know Tyler Dalton probably back there just thinking, you can keep that up there, boys. Maybe that might help me out a little bit, because I know he's already trying to catch me. Dayton Taylor, Aaron Action Jackson, they're all on the same strategy as the Reign of Terror himself, and Dyler right now just trying not to let that bug him, not let that get into his mind. Don't let you cloud your judgment. Sorry for that little audio cut there, guys. So right now, currently, Dayton Taylor trying to keep up there with Tyler Dalton from pit road side of things. Christoph Hall, Sammy Morrell, Charles Van Schaik, and all them, and Cario and Hudson been in the pit stop. That leaves the other drivers to map out a plan and map out what they want to do here. Do they decide to try to take the tires and the fuel, or do they just take the fuel and the tires? Van Schaik took all fours. Sammy Morrell only took fuel. So a very interesting little plan there. Dalton and Simley there now in the pit road, so you know those guys are up to no good. They are strategists at best, and they are tough as nails at their worst. They are going to be one heck of a run for them and to face off with. Let's take a look at our best lap time now, presented in part by Cornhole Coffee. Well, I mean, safe to say, but there's a few shockers in this one, guys. Normally, consistency is where keen is and where the momentum is, but guess what? Your fastest time in this race, it's 29.89, and it's been set by Joe Hudson, the number 15. Ron Holyfield was at 29.92. That's why I focused on him a little bit. And Richard Crane with a 29.98 as his other fast time. These guys kind of got thrown a few curveballs and a few turns in there, and maybe a few twists in their areas they were expecting. And speaking of expecting issues right now, Tyler Dalton, he's got a big issue. He went speeding at pit road. He has a time penalty on him. Time penalty on the number 19, and Tyler Dalton's reign of terror will end, and this will race end. Oh my. That means we're probably going to have ourselves a new winner in this one, boys. But which one will it be? Right about now, I think these guys probably want to figure that out sooner rather than later. Sammy Morrell not taking tires where Charles Van Schaik did. I don't know how well that strategy will play out for him. Well, he's going to try to use it to his advantage here. Bit of a long shot there, if you ask me, especially with guys like Charles Van Schaik and Cameron Dario moving their way up. I don't know. This could be anybody's race, honestly, at this point. But that is a big, big mistake Tyler Dalton made there, of all things. He and Bobby Wetzel, teammates in their own right, having all sorts of issues this season, and now having even more issues with this race today. Wetzel with most of the issues. Dalton pretty much just been whatever issue he got himself into. He just kind of cleared it up by revving the speed up. That was like the thing you knew you could count on him for, was just to fall back a little and then from there just go crazy. Schmitz and Caffrey right now, hard on the gas pedal, hard on the loud pedal. Caffrey, though, making his move to the bottom. A move that's been kind of thrown his way this whole race. Now finally uses one up on these boys. Closing up laps right now, guys, and the lap times are starting to become harder and harder to gravitate around. Dayton Taylor going to go to the pit road. Jeff Ramsdell is going to be our new leader. As Caffrey now is in the second spot. Remember earlier on he was charging up there. Then he fell off a little bit from the cliff side and on the waist side. Looks like that doesn't seem to be his issue now. You would think too, those that went into pit road a little earlier, like Joe Hudson, would have an advantage, but no. Far from it, actually. A lot worse for wear than they realized. I think it's time we take a look at the pit strategy as well here and take a look, see where exactly these guys have been hitting it up at. They go about 39 total laps, it looks like, around 37, 39, yeah. Right now, looking at the fuel mileage, Van Schaik is actually short. So, could this mean that when Harrell went into pit road, he didn't take the tires because he's going to try to take tires when he gets into pit road next time by, or is he just going to take fuel? That's a very interesting decision, honestly. I'm very curious to know his plan of attack there. He's got another set he can work with here, so that could end up being a factor. Ricky Eddings your race leader right now, by the way. But not for long. You went on lap 77, and right now, he's dealing with guys that are on lap 100 and some odd tires. Yeah, he's not keeping that lead. Your new leader is Charles Van Schaik, but Cameron Dario, he's looking for another win this season. He would love to kind of park it here today. Yeah, no matter what I do when I calculate these numbers up here, guys, they are short about relatively 5 or 6 laps. So that tells me they're going to have to make some big moves and make some big adjustments here and make some runs for it. That could take easily much to get down there. Van Schaik right now currently was dealing with Dario. Now he's going to deal with Simley moving up. And Simley is probably starting to read the writing on the wall. He knows he's got a lot on his plate. He got a lot on his table. He's going to have to stabilize up something here. And Simley now leading the field off there. Van Schaik giving up plenty of time there. So now we're down to just about 39 to 38 laps left to go. 38 laps left. But again, I am noticing a pattern here. Everyone has to go to pit road at least one more time. Some maybe just trying to hang on with what they've got. And they are pretty much on the cuts of taking either tires or fuel. Their choice. For Harrell, he's going to have to take tires. The only way he doesn't is he's looking to possibly make a little bit of a last shootout here and watch it fire off on the track here. field right now, currently a bit of a standstill. Everyone watching on as they are making their last minute moves or last minute decisions and making passes wherever they possibly can. A lot of guys right now are currently looking at the overall situation, maybe looking at the overall run, knowing they can do a lot with what they've got and timing up their sheets here. Even Richard Crane making some moves here as the 36 Lucas Oil Machine now moves into the 8th spot. Kind of just trying to see like where exactly the strategy will plan out. Sammy Rell got to keep that brake going, bud. There he goes into pit road. We're going to watch carefully on him in a minute here and see where he throws the strategy out at. Because I think he's honestly going to be one of those guys like Charles Van Schaik that make crucial decisions to the car and to the speed here. Harrell's into pit road. What does he take? Does he just do fuel or will he take the tires? He's just taking fuel. He's going for the fuel. Hudson, he looks like he's just going to go for the fuel as well. Nope, right side tires going on. Perhaps a last minute gas, a last minute plan here. Well, we now know Harrell has got enough to finish this race out with, but surprisingly, Tyler Dalton is now back ahead of him, and if he gets a caution to come out, he's going to be in a very good position to take over that lead lap again. What a complete 180 to this one it's been for these drivers. Van Schaik goes to pit road. We're going to have to watch him carefully from pit stop ends as well. Dario still trying to hang in there to get the simile. About a second and a tenth separating those two out. Dalton, though, now starting to look at maybe patrolling to the front, patrolling ahead as he lingers his way around. Let's take a look at Van Schaik. His pit stop coming up. What does he decide to do? Fuel going in, or is he taking tires? He's taking tires. He's got right sides going on. Is all fours going in? It looks like that is the case. Yes, right sides and left sides, all fours for the number 23. And that means Samuel Harrell's little plan of attack went up in flames. It's backfired on him big time here. Van Schaik right now is looking like he's going to be the strongest of the field here, in my opinion. If this one goes the way it's going and it stays green, I just got that feeling that it's going to linger his way. Simley, though, and Dario, they know they can't feel the pressure yet. They can't let that get to them. Perhaps just taking fuel on right side tires is enough to hold off. But again, as a driver, I mean, when do you go to pit road? When do you decide to make that move? Roll him down now. Simley, Dayton Taylor, Christoph Hall, pucking it up for the 4th spot. Cameron Dario are going to be your new leader. Like 25 laps left to go, guys. This could get interesting. Everyone right now just trying to stay ahead of transition, trying to stay ahead of the field. We're going to focus in on Simley here. And Dalton as well. It's going to be a big point of contact here. Right side tires going on for him. Dayton Taylor, he's getting out of there quickly. Scott Simley, not out yet. Simley only took right sides. Dayton Taylor just took fuel. That's a very big difference maker. And Tyler Dalton coming out with him as well. He's hoping for a bit of a break here. Here in Action Jackson though now. His gap is going to start to betray him here. He's going to need to take fuel. Or he's going to need to hope for a break here. If he goes into pit road now, he's going to be at a very big disadvantage here, in my opinion. He does go to pit road, so I think I meant to say if he doesn't go to pit road, he's going to be at a very big disadvantage is what I meant to say, not the other way around. So this is a good move by Jackson. This could be what eclipses all his mistakes and makes him work hard for this. From pit road wise, Jackson just takes fuel as I predicted. He'll move it back out on the track. And Charles Van Schaik looking to get ahead of him, and he does. 4 fresh sets, and now Jackson realizes he may be out of the loop. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. I thought Jack Van Schaik honestly had the best strategy when it came to making the move and making the grooves, and now he's taking control of it. Talk about a complete reversal of fates and a tough road to be thrown into. Man, so many heavy hitters in this one, all making a break for it, making a run for it too, and trying to find that little extra gap, that little extra cent of speed with 20 laps to go. Michael Caffrey currently on lap 115 tires and fuel. But if we look at the split strategy again, he just does not have enough. Or wait. He's got on lap 25 fuel now, lap 26, yep. Ooh, that's close. That is close. He's got 14 laps left before his fuel run ends. He would have 19 to go. That's a very tough little spot there, honestly. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to necessarily work for him. Caffrey is right now playing a very, very thin line road here. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think he'll have enough fuel. He can save all he wants, but I don't think that's enough. He's going to try it, though, honestly. If he tries it, it may work. I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't think it will work. Tyler Dahl right now looking on behind it. Could be his most glaring and troublesome situation to hit up from. I think he knows too, though. He is in a very tall gap and a tough little spot here. So Caffrey your leader, Schmitz in second, Simley in third, Van Schaik in fourth, Dayton Taylor in fifth. Caffrey goes the distance. He's going to try to push his luck here. I don't know where the fuel run is at for him. I don't know where he's thinking it, but he's certainly going to try it. Schmitz in a much worse dilemma here. He's on lap 114 fuel tires right now. There's not a whole lot he can do about it. He knows he was trying to make a break for it, make a run for it as long as he could, but it just doesn't look like it's going to end up giving himself that chance here. So Van Schaik currently looking to get up there to Simley here. Simley again trying to hold on. He managed to play out his strategy for a little bit better than perhaps Van Schaik did. I was saying earlier I thought Van Schaik had the better strategy with all four tires, but it looks like just right sides for Simley. May have been just a little bit better in this case. But is it enough? And is there enough time to be slowed down on Caffrey's end? Schmitz, you can hear him saving the fuel now. He is saving up fuel and he's trying to hurry on. You see that gap more and more along there. And Caffrey, that's too little too late. He had to call it a day. Pit road opened up and he had to get in there. He didn't have enough time. He was out for this one. He had a great strategy and a good run there, but unfortunately not long enough. With 8 to go, your new leader is Scott Simley in the number 7. It's Simley right now, currently, if he ever was in a spot he wanted to be in, he may want that top spot away from Tyler Dalton. Those two may be teammates and friends, but I guarantee you there will be some words thrown around a little bit at them when the season comes to an end and one of them's on top. Not bad words, just a lot of grief and a little bit more hazing, if you will. That's the way he does it here. 5 laps now left to go. What an absolute unit of a race and a long haul for these drivers. Scott Simley knows he's just slowly but surely creeping this one off with 3 laps to go. Every one of these guys right now, I gotta believe, thought they had the winning strategy, the winning formula put together. I guarantee you more than anything, though, many of them did not intend for this kind of a unit of a race, this long scaled format to push these drivers to their absolute limits. Right now, Scott Simley, with 2 laps to go, knows where he is at, where his placement is. His right side tire strategy phased out and worked perfectly ahead from the 6 lap difference between Charles Van Schaik and his failed attempt with 4 tires. I thought 4 tires with Schaik was enough, but I think lap traffic and the airflow around the cars is what did him in. And in this case, it will certainly be a thing he'll think more and more about as we get later and progress to the season. White flag in the air. Simley, your leader. 1 more to go. The Heineken number 7 hasn't been to victory lane in a while. I guarantee you this much. He'll be excited for this one. Coming off through 3 into 4. He played his cards right, and he puts the hammer down. Checkers out. Scott Simley is your winner in Vegas. What a performance. What a performance. I know I've said that a lot, but I don't say it if I didn't mean it. Scott Simley, he throws out a unit of a strategy and plays the cards right. Tyler Dalton unfortunately cost himself dearly there from his pit road mishap. Simley capitalized on it, and he's going to bring home the race win in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I guarantee there's a few Heinekens getting thrown out today. And the nighttime is not young, my friends. I think these guys are going to have a little fun tonight. He's going to have a little fun partying this one up a little bit. He's going to park that thing right back on that front straightaway. Fans on a like and a love on the front straightaway, showing him some love as he gets it into victory lane. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the race results. Scott Simley, your winner. Charles Van Schaik going to go home second. Cameron Dario goes home third. Dayton Taylor fourth. Christoph Hall fifth. Jeff Ramsdale sixth. Aaron Action Jackson seventh. Michael Caffrey eighth. Ninth to Richard Crane. Ron Holyfield top 10. What a race. A clever battle of strategy and timing coming out today here. But ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 joining me here now. Cameron Dario coming home with a 3rd place today here. And Cameron, it looked like a while there. You had a couple good shots in the dark to throw at these boys. But unfortunately, though, Simley got you and Van Schaik just a little bit quicker on that level there.
Yeah, I think he did better on pit road. I took 4 tires, and I waited maybe too long, and he used that to his advantage to pull away there at the end. But maybe we had a good car today. I can't really complain at all. It was tight, but it was tight just enough, where you could be real confident getting into the gas and holding the throttle down. So all in all, it was really good, man.
Really good, and definitely a long, long shootout there for you and the team. I know, obviously, going to take home a lot of stage points and help out for that kind of progression there into the playoff racing side of things. For you in this case, though, making the round of 12, I mean, how crucial is it going to be just to try to figure out how to make round of 8? Because now things should be picking up a bit, don't they?
Just do the same thing. Be consistent. Try and be in top three. If you're in the top three each week, then you got to be in the top three when you progress to the next round. If you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, though, I will ask you this as always. Who do you want to thank you for this third place today?
Hey man, I want to thank the GOAT for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank all the drivers that come out and support the GOAT. I want to thank you for putting this on. Uh, and yeah, man, just excited for the rest of the season.
We certainly excited to see what you got in store here. Dario, congratulations bringing it on home for third today.
Thanks, brother.
Cameron Dario, ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher. Coming up just a measly second place, though. I say measly because this guy knows a thing or two on how to get to victory lane. Van Schaik, ladies and gentlemen, on the line here. And Charles, man, oh boy, you had a lot going on. And honestly, I kind of maybe jumped the gun a little too soon, gave you the old broadcaster curse, but I thought 4 tires and that strategy was what's going to win this one out. Instead, Simley kind of found a way to kind of nip you there in pit road.
Yeah, when he came out with 2 tires and I was basically right behind him with, Tyler in between us, I thought I made the right play. Just the last set of tires and the last run just didn't feel the same as the previous 5 or 4. Um, I didn't take tires in stage one, and I felt like I was checking my overlay, and I think I was only 3 to 4 tenths behind the leader with the old tires. So yeah, I don't know. The last stint didn't go the way it should have been, or the way I thought it was going to be, or the way it was the whole night.
Nah, nevertheless, though, I still know, obviously, you're going to make round of 12 here for this one. And having to get past that first round of the playoffs, I mean, how hard and treacherous was it just to even do that, much less now having to kind of navigate way through the rest of the season?
I mean, yeah, it was difficult. Most of the season, at least in this series, I got my wins very early, so it was kind of just cruise and learn from some of the faster guys, like Scott, like Tyler and Wetzel, and Cam and Sammy, those guys, just picking up different things at different tracks. So, but I kind of had a cushion. A little disappointed in the turnout tonight with 3 playoff drivers not show to even run. So I think, I don't know, 15 out of the 15 people were already locked in. It was just one spot that was open at that point. So, but yeah, it was fun. And, we go to one of my favorite tracks next week, which I hate it, the Super Speedways. So hopefully I don't die and we'll be good.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, as you come away second today, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Yeah, obviously PTM doing the broadcast. Obviously Global Strategy Team. MDR Graphics came through. I ran my goat race and diecast scheme tonight. So my diecast company will be sponsoring a couple or maybe all the series next season. Setting up to do a winter series shortly here. I'll get all that info out. But and then obviously my teammates Cam, Aaron, Ricky ran tonight, which I always love when Ricky runs. We had Michael Caffrey hop in, a little honorary teammate. So it was good racing, good fun. All the drivers. I mean, I know it was a low turnout, but man, it was fun racing. Whether it was a lap car, you were trying to unlap yourself, it was at least to me it seemed very fun. So I'll take that race all day. I'll take a P2 all day if that's the racing we're gonna have.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, Charles, moving on to the next round. Congratulations on that, and good to hear from you again, sir.
All right, thanks, man.
Charles Van Schaik, ladies and gentlemen, your second place finish today. But coming up today as the number one guy, Scott Simley plays out everybody and strategizes above all of them. And Simley, boy, oh boy, sir, did you work that one into this race?
Yeah, yeah, we it was a lot of fun pulling that off. I after that the second stage at the restart, I lost a lot of track position because Aaron, I don't know if he missed a shift or something, so I lost like 5 spots, and gave Tyler, because I was ahead of Tyler, and I'm like, I gotta try to stay ahead of him because I was thinking that's who I was going to be racing against. So, and then my plan was to um, on those last 2 stops is to take 4, and then I was gonna take 2. But I think you really could honestly just did 2 and 2 on both those stops, but I was just afraid of it being too loose. I think that's probably what Tyler did. Had he not got the penalty, he probably would have won with that strategy. It's hard to say. I just was a little leery of it being too loose, running that many laps on the left sides.
Yeah, speaking of Dalton as well, I mean, you two obviously go into this playoff round here. You are 1 and 2 apiece. You each are pretty close in terms of the speed and endurance, but now you've got yourself quite a bit of a little showing here because now, obviously, with this win, you made it in the round of 12, of course, but you now pretty much kind of close that gap on the points wise. Is that kind of helping you just kind of get a little bit more focused to get to that final round when the time comes?
Yeah, we got to give it all we got. It's going to be tough to beat Tyler. He's shown he's been tough to beat. So we're gonna give it everything we got, and we got Talladega coming up, which is gonna be interesting. Not sure how we're gonna play that out, but um, and then Homestead. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I'd like to win. It would be fun to be able to do that, but it's not gonna be easy running against Tyler and Charles. I mean Cameron too. There's a lot of guys in here that can put some stuff together. So we'll just keep plugging away and hope we can continue to get finishes like this.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, you are going to bring it home into the first spot today. Who would you like to thank for this race win?
Go Racing League and Global Strategy for sponsoring. You guys again for broadcasting. Hopefully all the fans enjoyed it. Um, worked with pit crew and Tyler and the guys in the channel tonight. I usually don't go in there, but decided to go in there and kind of chit chat with them. So we were tossing around some ideas too. So that obviously didn't hurt. But yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, Simley, a big win for you and the team. Congratulations on that, and welcome to the round of 12, sir.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Scott Simley, ladies and gentlemen, you're a race winner and bringing it on home in a very big shootout, ladies and gentlemen. What a race it was, and congratulations to all our top 12 drivers that made it in. Unfortunately, we had to remove 4 from them, so the round of 16 over and done with. On to the round of 12. Until then, next time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you tomorrow night, Sunday night edition, action-packed Pedal to Metal Racing League here at Martinsville Speedway. See you then.